this is Aromie here, and welcome back to our life beginning and always. We are here with our final 2 DLCs before I have this wait and see you guys again until step 4. But we're gonna start with boating. You perched at the kitchen island, whiling away the minutes until your sister joined you downstairs. There was quite an adventure planned today. Lee was coming down near the Sunset Bird area as part of what she called a little trip. Oh, so we are gonna see more faces. Apparently she thought how nice it would be to go on a private boat trip this summer to celebrate graduation and everything. What might have been an idle dream for most people turned into a reality in Lee's hands. You've been invited along for the ride by your best cousin. It was kind of insane she could make that happen. You're eagerly anticipating an adventure. It'll be great to see her. The idea of being on a ship where you're pretty mellow about it. It'll be great to see her. We got to chat with Lee over the phone regularly, but it wasn't the same as hanging out in person. This visit was an unexpected treat. You weren't the only one who was heading out on the trip. Liz was coming, of course. Siobhan's had been invited, but hadn't been able to find the time to squeeze it in. And so the trip would only involve the kids of the family, a term that had stuck despite all 3 of you being adults now. Mom would have joked about cramping your style, but there was apparently plenty of room on the ship. Lee had been more than happy for you and Liz to bring other friends along if you wanted. But the trip out to Sunset Bird, then even further out to where Lee and the boat would be, wasn't feasible for most people. Not many folks lived close by. There was naturally one person who would always be there for the ride, Cove. You were just about to meet up with him outside. Lee had been glad when you told her he'd be able to come along today. Just as you were thinking about your cousin, her plans for the day ahead, your phone sprang to life. Glancing at the display, you saw that the incoming call was Lee herself. You answered it without pause. Hey!
Hi!
She is so pretty. She drove straight into the topic trip meetup. You could hear the trill of excitement in her voice. I'm here now and everything's all set. All you gotta do is show up and we'll be off. She spoke quickly, animated by anticipation. Hooray! You echoed her enthusiasm. Great, can't wait to see you. Liz and Cove are definitely still on board too, right? Yep. Wonderful. There's still a bit of time before you're due to set off. Is there anyone you want to extend a last minute invite to? No need to keep the guest list sparse now. Sparse? It's not like we'll be bumping into anyone else to join in when we're out in the middle of the ocean. But there's a new guy in the neighborhood I like. There's a new guy around. I think you might like him. No one really comes to mind. Well, I can't feel like there's a new guy in the neighborhood I like. Hey, I think you might like this guy. Ooh, you better invite him then. Sure, I'll see if he can squeeze a sudden boat trip into his busy schedule.
Talk to you later.
I'll let you go. Imagine not inviting Baxter. I have to if I want to see you here in the flesh. She uttered the last few words dramatically, making them sound more like a threat than a statement. Laughing, you shook your head. Lee chuckled along down the phone. Bye, Lee. Bye. Now that your attention was free, you looked over to the stairs to see if Liz had emerged yet, but there was still no sign of her. You figured you might as well go out and see if Cove was ready in the meantime. Besides, you needed to stop by Baxter's place and invite him along. Liz would catch up, you were sure. You caught up the stairs to let her know the plan. You sent her a text on the update plan. You left her to it. She figured it out. I'll yell at her. Liz, I'll be outside. Okay. I mean, I feel like that's what siblings usually do anyway, instead of texting each other. Hey, boy, I'm leaving. Kidding, I wouldn't do that to my brother. I was just like, hey, I'm gonna go, right? And then he'll be like, go where? I'm coming too. And with that, you hopped off the chair and headed out the door. A sunny day greeted you, shielding your eyes with a hand. You admired the sky. It looked like good weather for heading out on the water. That was something. You heard your name called and turned automatically. Cove was the source of the call. He was standing halfway between his house and yours. He waved at you as he walked over. You waited for him to join you, took a step in his direction, ran over to him. You ran over and threw your arms. Always that choice. You tore across the street and pounced on him, wrapping him tightly into a hug. The winded gasp you knocked out of him turned into a chuckle halfway. Hi. Well, look who it is. Ready to go? Cove nodded easily, blinking languidly in the sunlight, and his mouth curved into a gentle smirk. First jet skis, now a boat. What aquatic transportation device is up next for us? My money's on a submarine. You laughed. It's been an adventurous summer for sure. Cove grinned, pleased that he amused you. Cove glanced away, chewing his lip with consternation. Is it really okay for me to come? You started with laughter, recalling Lee's openness to any and all friends and acquaintances, but the troubled look in Cove's face ended your mirth. Of course it is. You're always invited, remember? Cove rubbed the back of his neck, frowning as if trying to work it out for himself. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. This is a really ritzy trip and Lee's your cousin, not mine.
I mean...
The two of us, me and Lee, are friends. maybe, but it's not like we've ever hung out on our own. I'm kind of worried I'm gonna be out of place. There's no way you'd be left out, Cove. She wants you there, I promise. Cove, you're so difficult. Do you not want to go on a boat? You looked at him concerned. She wants you there, I promise. Okay, you're right. Cove managed a small smile. The word hadn't lifted from his rigid shoulders, but you could tell that he was attempting to project a little more confidence. I'm gonna go, don't worry. Good. You're satisfied with that. And I meant to tell you, I'm gonna be inviting Baxter too. I've got to check if he's in now before we run out of time. Really? Cove was stunned. He hadn't been prepared for any extra surprises. He shook it off, however. Alright, it's not like this isn't already gonna be awkward. He was joking mostly. I'll wait for you here. Okay, Cove, I'll see you in a bit. He strode over to the condo Baxter was staying in and rang the doorbell. You recalled the last time he had been at Baxter's door. It was when he invited you over for a visit. It was nice that you'd be able to extend your own invite this time. Before memories could claim you, the door slid open. Baxter looked out, his head tilted in interest.
Nice to see you.
Hello, Romeo. Michiko, what a nice surprise. He folded his arms over his chest, leaning casually against the door frame. Is there something I can do for you? Want to head out on a boat ride with my family in Cove? We're taking a boat trip right now. Are you on board? So the thing is, we're going on a sort of trip now. You could come if you want to. What the fuck? We're taking... Well, it's my family's. So want to head out on a boat ride with my family in Cove? His eyes widened only briefly before resting back to his usual languorous expression. Why is he so shook? Maybe he's shook that I offered. It was either an impressive show of restraint or Baxter's life involved more impromptu boat trips than yours, perhaps both.
I can do that.
Okay, let's go. What? You don't have any plans already? No, seriously, that's great. So here's the phrase. Baxter's mouth curled into a little smirk. My schedule's always open for an improved itinerary. I'm flexible, remember? Oh. He was not only agreeing to come on the trip, but apparently canceling some other plan in order to make it happen. Baxter was certainly something. Things are keeping me in mind. I think this is going to be fun. He slipped outside after securing the door behind him. He swept out an arm and indicated for you to lead the way. I thought he put his arm around me. I was like, oh, whoa. A little too touchy. The first stop was to collect Cove. He was waiting as promised where you left him. Cove, good to see you. Hi. There was still no sign of Liz. You took the opportunity to bring Baxter up to date on the plan for the day. He took in your words with interest. Only a minute or two more passed before the door to your house finally opened, Liz framed within it like a portrait. Unlike you, she had no need to shield her eyes with a hand in order to protect them from the sun's bright rays, and her hat was performing the job admirably. Spotting you, she headed straight over. She smiled warmly at you and Cove as she approached. Her attention then promptly turned to the group's new addition. It's nice to see you again, Baxter. His eyes closed as he bowed his head and nodded his head in a nod ever so slightly. And the same to you. Living on the same street had given Liz and Baxter the opportunity to get to know each other over the course of the summer. Though she'd spent less time with him than you had, you anticipated that she wouldn't object to him tagging along the trip. I asked him to join us today. Just as you expected, Liz didn't have much of a reaction to the change of plan. She merely raised her brow. I feel like you and Lee will become fast friends, Baxter. You laughed, having thought the same thing yourself. Baxter smiled politely. With that, your little group piled into the car. It had been decided in advance that you'd all be heading over in Cove's car. Then you set off for the journey down the coast to where you'd be meeting Lee. You wound down the California shoreline with sparkling ocean waters on one side and craggy cliffs on the other. The world blurred by until eventually you made it safely to the large harbor. It was a far grander scale than the one near Mr. Holden's shop. Boats 2, 3, even 5 times larger could fit. Liz took charge from there, calling up your cousin to guide you the rest of the way. Lee did her best to explain where precisely the boat was docked. Given that she was doing it without seeing where you were, and that it was an area she was only slightly familiar with herself, she did a pretty good job. It took a bit of fumbling, a little retracing of steps, as your cousin and your sister had different definitions of orange. That was rusty brown, Liz had protested. But before too long, you heard her voice calling you, not from the phone in Liz's hand, but over the wind rolling off the ocean. Searching for the source of the sound, you found her on the prow of a ship, jumping into the air and waving frantically for your attention. You arrived. Lee dashed from the boat, right? Over the gangway. What are these terms? I don't know any of these terms. Where you boarded one by one. Ooh, this is a nice boat. Never been on a big boat like this. Or like, I think the only boat I've been on was to get on the boat for the paragliding. That was it. You could tell, even if she said nothing, her bright grin as she saw you all spoke loud and clear. Ahoy, Captain Lee! You smiled at her, you waved, you gave your cousin a high five. Full hug! I was like, side hug, what the fuck? You wrapped both arms around her and pulled her tight against her chest. Squealing, Lee returned her hug just as tightly. After greeting you, Lee turned to look over the faces of the others who would be joining you on your ocean voyage. Her attention was immediately pulled to the only one in the group that she'd not met before. Grinning, she approached him.
My pleasure.
I'm Lee. I'm so excited to meet the mysterious new man on the block. What a coincidence. I was looking forward to meeting our gracious host for the day. Oh, you guys are kind of cute. But I must confess, I'm not that mysterious. I'm rather open. I do hope that doesn't come as a disappointment. Not at all. I can appreciate forwardness. Welcome aboard. With that, she glanced over at the others.
Thank you.
Many thanks again for taking us on this lovely trip. Cove hovered awkwardly behind you and your sister. Even with Liz's broad sun hat, he was too tall and the group was too small to hide effectively. He made fleeting eye contact with Lee and then looked away. Thank you for letting me come. The boat is cool. He's so cute because he's like a total giant, like a full-on teddy bear. He chuckled nervously. Lee smiled, entertained by his bumbling phrasing. Hi, Cove. She giggled as she spoke, unable to hide her amusement. Cove lowered his head. You patted his arm reassuringly. You stood in front of him like a shield. You couldn't help but smirk at his reaction. You rubbed the bridge of your nose. You folded your arms. Let's pat his arm reassuringly. We're all gonna have a good day. You don't have to laugh at him. Cove's little game of hide and seek is pretty funny. You didn't say anything. We're all gonna have a good day. Cove smiled weakly at you, his face flushed. You could tell that he appreciated your show of support, but was still embarrassed about needing the help. The floor seemed to have to give beneath you as Lee whooped with delight. You realized that the ship had pulled out into the water. It had been so steady while it was moored, that you had temporarily forgotten you were on solid ground. Now as the boat rocked beneath your feet, there was no doubt you were truly setting sail. The little group dissipated into chatter, headed over to the railings to watch the ocean. You were ruffled by the breeze, which seemed stronger out on the water than it was back on the shore. The floor continued to rise and fall, reminding you of standing in a bouncy house while others jumped. It was refreshing. You were curious about how this trip would go. You felt unsure, but tried to ignore it. It was scary. You were hit with nausea. You were curious. As you let your surroundings truly sink in, you thought today was shaping up to be memorable. You're glad that you've been able to join Lee on this trip. We can really get the party started now. Dude, I'm hungry. Can we get some food out here? Oh, wonderful. What did you have in mind? Well, the word hung in the air as your cousin stalled. It was clear that she didn't have something immediately in mind. Cole's eyes sparkled as he piped up. Can we get out of the boat? Like go swimming around in the deep ocean? Sometimes you'd swear that boy was part merman, the way he was continuously drawn into the water. But Liz immediately quashed the suggestion.
No.
Her tone left no room for debate. Baxter chuckled, combing a hand through his hair. I prefer to stay on board too.
Sorry.
It's not that kind of boat trip. It isn't supposed to stop anywhere. If someone did end up off in the water, the captain will call the Coast Guard on us. Kelly's shoulders slumped at the resounding rejection.
All right.
We'll still find something fun to do, Cove. No way I'm getting in the water. You didn't comment. This decision was already made. That's disappointing. We'll still find something to do, Cove. Truthfully, there isn't that much we can do on the boat that we couldn't technically do back on land. I often take trips with my father on our boat. He always spends the time deep sea fishing. I'm not much of a fisherman personally. Activities that could also be done while not on a boat sounds excellent to me. Visibly bolstered by Baxter's support, Lee smiled warmly at him. My dad also takes me fishing sometimes, though we do it on the docks by my dad's shop. I'm not good at it either. Baxter snickered, his expression warm as he looked at Cove. He appreciated a delicate attempt to relate, especially with how standoffish Cove normally was with him. That's the fate of sons with their dads, apparently. How lucky we won't be doing that now. Yeah. Liz nodded. There was nothing wrong with some non-nautical themed activities. We could play a party game for all I care.
Yeah.
We'll do a party game. You saw her brow furrowed for just a moment as she mentally considered possibilities, then smoothed out as one came to mind. Oh, what about the one where something is written down and people give clues and one person has to guess what it is? Sure, I'd say to play a party game and I stand by. Who's guessing first? Rock, paper, scissors? We could have an arm wrestling contest? I don't care. You waited for some. Rock, paper, scissors. The others blinked at you as you made your suggestion. Liz's expression was skeptical. And how will we decide who took turns for that? The game that is supposed to decide who's taking the first turn in the game we originally decided to play. I was pretty freaking easy. We all put it in. I feel like it's easy with 5 people. Lee snickered, batting a hand, and like if one person has paper. Actually, it won't work, I don't think. Lee snickered, batting a hand in the air to brush away these minor details.
Trust me.
Don't be like that, we'll make it work. It's a good idea. More games equal more fun. Together, you agreed on an order to go in for the first set of games, and the mini competition was on, with Lee and Liz facing each other in the first round. Liz was triumphant in that first game. The next challenger was Baxter. He and Liz went up against each other, and Baxter emerged victorious. Now he was waiting to see who he would go against in the next round. Meanwhile, you were gearing up for a round against Cove. The winner would be Baxter's opponent. Cove stared at you with mirrored eyes. The mini-game might not only be a bit of meaningless fun, but Cove meant business. I forgot how he's so fucking, competitive. They took your positions, facing each other as the others watched on. You raised a hand, curled into a fist, just as Cove did the same. On 3, Cove frowned, focused intently on your hand as if he might predict what shape it would make. 1, 2, 3! I picked rock. Fuck! Our brains are the same! At the call of 3, Cove's hand stayed as a fist. He went for rock. The hands between you two were mirrored in the same gesture. Again. Alright, I'm gonna go with rock again. I was gonna go with scissors, but I knew that he was gonna go, like, she's gonna go with scissors. I'm gonna stay with rock. At the call of 3, Cove's hand stayed as a fist. He went for rock. The hands between you two were mirrored in the same gesture. Again? I'm putting rock. I'm still going with rock. I win. You thought I was gonna switch up, huh, Cove? At the call of 3, Cove's pointer finger and middle finger sprung free of his fist. He's chosen scissors. Michiko wins! Cove slumped his shoulders, accepting defeat. He had gotten the better of him that day. His pounding session ended abruptly with a shake of his head as he refocused on what was ahead. Cove slowly glanced over at the monochrome newcomer. Then he met your eyes with complete seriousness. You can beat him. You laughed, you sighed long-sufferingly. Your cheeks heated up as Cove's insistence. He nodded resolutely. I think my face would heat up. He believed in you, but it was a lot of attention, not to mention pressure. Baxter watched your exchange with Cove and waited until an appropriate moment to approach you. He smiled curled. His smile curled. Good luck. Good luck to you. His smile grew wider as you both raised your hand. I don't know what to think. Let's do scissors. The countdown began and you went for scissors. Shit. Damn it. And Baxter crushed it with the rock. It was over. Cove's face fell right into his hands at the call of Baxter's triumph. Baxter merely shrugged with feigned indifference. Well, that's nice. I won. Who would have known? Oh, you bitch. Cove, still pouting, lifted his face just enough to peek at Baxter. Good job. He was willing to concede the win, even if he was sour about it. That made Baxter's grin return. It was a good game. I'm proud of you. You're so humble. Boo, I was robbed. You're not just Baxter Word, you're Baxter Win. Quite let Baxter have his moment. Congratulations, bro.
Thank you.
GG. Lee shot Baxter an impressed thumbs up as Liz chuckled in disbelief. The actual game hasn't even started and people are already getting like this. Her pointed look was aimed straight at Cove, who was still recovering from the shame of defeat. He pulled himself together completely after that. Hey, you know, you gotten rusty with party game skills, Michiko. Excuse me? I beat you! What do you mean? Liz lightly slapped his shoulder for that comment. He chuckled unrepentantly. With a devious grin, Lee picked up a pen and notepad from the bar counter. She tore out the glittery pen with her fingers. Lee clarified the rules after Cove raised a wavy eyebrow. Random words would be written down and folded up to give to another player. When it was someone's turn to be a guesser, they would show everyone else the word, but couldn't look at it themselves. The other players had to help the guesser figure out what the word was without saying it directly. Each person was allowed to say only one clue. After all the hints were given, then the guesser would have to decide. Lee gave each guest at the mini party a piece of paper from her notepad. It was surprisingly thick lined paper with a little starfish printed at the bottom. She scrounged around to find more writing implements. She managed to dig up a short pencil with an old jelly grip on it, a ballpoint pen with a logo you didn't recognize, and a purple crayon. Baxter had a nice pen with him already, so he respectfully passed on Lee's offer. She turned to you.
Okay.
Here, pick one. I picked the crayon. Of course. You pulled the crayon from the fan as sort of options Lee had presented to you. The crayon was a lot thicker than what you were used to. It smelled like kindergarten with a hint of those restaurants that used to give crayons with their kids' menus. After the random selection of words were determined, the papers were passed around. It was time to
All
start.
right.
I guess we know who's going now. Baxter fished his paper out from his ripped pants pocket and presented it to the group. Loopy handwriting spelled out the word slide. Kids like it. It's for kids. Kids? Lee bounced enthusiastically, holding out a hand to indicate the short height of children. Baxter nodded slowly.
Alright.
It's at playgrounds, but not really small ones usually. The playground around our neighborhood doesn't have it, if you've been there. He shook his head, still perplexed. Unfortunately, I have not. Dang. You've been to playgrounds before though, right? Baxter had a pause to think on it. He shrugged.
Maybe?
In my elementary school, I did have recess, but we had sport fields more than traditional playgrounds. For some reason, it's hard to picture you as a little kid. Well, I'd rather you not imagine it, so it all works out. Ko placed a finger in his cheek as he puzzled out the game's conundrum. He tapped his face absentmindedly. Slippery? You can't really walk on it? Slippery? Every clue lost Baxter even more. He had no idea what the word could be. You sit on it and then go down. It's tall and long and you have to climb up to the top. You can go on it one way but can't really get up the other way. Baxter, do you know how to do the cha-cha? Cha-cha slide! Oh yeah! It's fine if you don't get it, I'll let it. Penguins do it on their bellies. No, Baxter, do you know? This might confuse him more though. The cha-cha slide? Oh, slide? That's it, slide, yay! Good job, Baxter. Baxter's flattering confidence returned in full force with a broad grin. I got it. He flipped the paper over and traced his finger across the word. He smirked at it. Thank you very much for the tip, Michiko. Liz patted you on the arm with approval. Nice one. You had the magic approach that time. You unfolded the paper given to you. Careful not to peek while you showed everyone. Liz leaned in closely with a thoughtful hum. As soon as Lee had a chance to read the word, she jumped out. Dog. There's a popular type of dog, sometimes called that. What? It's where scientists do experiments and stuff. What?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a secret location. Okay, now this is a little hard. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Liz gave Cove an edge look. She probably thought it would confuse you. It can be used for photos as well. What? It's a type of dog. Could be used for photos. You could do lab experiments. There's a cave? A lab? Labyrinth? Is that a lab? Is it just a lab? I'm gonna say lab? Lab?
Good.
That's it. Oh, okay, I'll say holy shit, I'm stupid as fuck if I can't guess this one. You got it. Yeah, you nailed it. Cove's fucking hint threw me off a little. Everyone cheered. Liz gave you a round of applause. She looked at the paper and in neat, tiny writing you saw the word lab. I was dumb, breathed a sigh of relief. It would have been embarrassing not to get it. The clues from the others had led you to be pretty sure of your choice, but still. Cole shot a gentle smile your way and you nodded back. Hopefully the game continued to go well. We should definitely keep this ball rolling. I wish I had this type of game. I watched a group of friends on TikTok do it for anime characters that like they simp over. And because they simp for so many guys, it's a little bit difficult. And their way of playing it is like they had to ask questions and the person, like the group, would say yes or no to it. Ko flipped open his paper and showed it to the crowd. He kept his hand at the back of the note so he couldn't see the word even if light shone through it. In blocky, wobbly text, you read the word potatoes. You pursed your lips together as you thought you could say. Sack. What? Liz turned her head with a grinless expression. While Lee continued her thought, she jumped up, pointing right at the paper Cove had in his hand. You put them in a sack. Cove blinked at Lee, deeply confused. Lee smiled back, full of confidence that he would understand eventually. It's the major vegetable you use in croquettes. I don't know what that is.
Real.
Baxter was earnestly taken aback as if Cove just said he'd never had toast before. Maybe we should change that. There has to be somewhere in this town that serves them, right? This cleared her throat, saving Cove from having to respond beyond his frown. It's that Mr. Toy with different faces and things. Cove tilted his... Oh, no, she said that, I would know instantly potato. Cove tilted his head. I'm utterly baffled at the different directions that everyone had taken. What is a Mr. Toy? Liz simply shook her head at his lack of understanding. It was your turn to try. They're brown and lumpy. There are sweet versions and regular versions. It's very common starchy root with vegetable. Cove, forget the croquettes. French fries. My mom loves them mashed. My mom thinks it's bland. I feel like French fries is the typical easy answer, right? I think that's easier. You gave him a look, sending the answer right to him while filling in the blank Baxter had left. Potatoes! Or a singular potato.
Yeah.
You're right, yeah. That would have been the easiest thing to give somebody. Cove. It's made out of... The French fries are made out of it. Cove repeated it again with a bright, beaming grin. Potatoes! Cove was so cute sometimes. You couldn't help but feel happy too over his victory joy. He held his hand out to you for a celebratory high five. You smacked his hand back, you gave him a fist bump instead, you gave him a thumbs up. But just smack his hand back, what the heck? You slapped his hand with a satisfying smack. He nodded, still looking ecstatic. Thanks for the hint. I don't think I would have gotten it without that. You're welcome. Congrats, now let's go again. Suddenly the boat tipped forward before rocking back harshly. The ship must have gone over a bigger than usual wave. Liz held onto her hat desperately. Lee laughed at her immediate death grip. You never know what'll happen on the high seas. You chuckled too. Watch out, Liz. You wouldn't want to lose such a nice topper. You felt a burst now as you come over. You started feeling really freaked out about... No, men, just laugh. You only chuckled together while Liz stuck up her nose. However, your sister was now smiling her and her hold slackened. The game continued with Liz and Lee taking their turns. It was such a good time that you all decided to play 2 more games. Liz turned out to be the best guesser, although it could have been because you knew her well enough to give her relevant hints. Lee had to stop herself from answering on the first clue she was given, but no one really minded. All in all, everyone was glad that Lee had suggested the theme. Oh! Lee shot you a grin. Why don't we have some drinks? There's a bar in the ship. Cove tilted his head disbeliefly, continued politely.
Oh, yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff behind the counter, but one could make whatever they can think of. It sounds like an interesting challenge. There's a lot of different juices and stuff. I think I've seen strawberry puree and pineapple. Carrot juice sounds interesting. Or intriguing.
So...
Is it juice bar? Yeah? They're not- none of us are legal! Well, how old's Lee? I meant, Liz. Liz laughed and tapped Lee on the shoulder. You just said bar, Lee. I think you gave the wrong idea. Sorry for the disappointment, Cove. No alcohol is provided by the ship. That's probably required considering the group they got today. I'm not disappointed by that. I didn't want to get drunk on a ship. I'm a little disappointed. Lee breezed past that misunderstanding as though it hadn't even happened. I was thinking we could mix them up and get something special. Anyone interested? Cove thought about it, intrigued. Liz smirked, recognizing the potential for chaos. That sounds like a recipe for disaster. It'll be a dream, trust me. So, who wants to make drinks?
What?
It was your idea, why don't you do it? I've mixed drinks before. If anyone else wants to try, this will be a great chance. I'm a gracious host. Hostess, sorry. Cove and I can make the drinks.
What?
Wait, me too? Yeah, Cove, I'm trying to make you, like, excited for this. We've eaten so much stuff together anyway. This is no difference. Yeah, what the hell? Maybe not an approval.
Totally.
With the both of you on the job, you'll definitely come up with something fun. With only mildly pinched brows, Cove accepted his enlistment. Alright. I'm so excited. Let me just show you the bar. Lee gave a brief tour of selection in various compartments. Cove wrinkled his forehead again at a few of the available juices, but didn't ask any questions. After that, she went back to the tables while she shouted a final message over her shoulder. Good luck, make it delicious, and be sure there's enough for everyone. She gave you a thumbs up and skipped back to the others. There was a fridge packed with cartons and various glass bottles of juice. Lee had placed a pitcher on the counter for you to mix things into. You started at the options. Stared, trying to see just what you had to work with. There are a lot of choices. Cove hovered behind you, overwhelmed by how many things you had to pick from. He cleared his throat. Well, now, do you have any ideas? You reached into the fridge to take out some juice. You grabbed... Ooh, apple... Ooh, strawberry... Ooh, wait, mixed... Oh my god, there's so many choices. Let's do mango. I feel like that... I'm feeling mango today. Okay, Cove leaned around you and grabbed a bottle of apple juice. You sat on the... See, I was gonna choose apple, but I was like, we're on a beach. Come on. Do something exotic. Like a mango. You sat on the bar counter, hopefully. Can we add some of this too? I like it. Okay. Let's just be done with it here. No, what the fuck? Go for it. He wanted Cove to help after all. He happily poured some of his juice into the large pitcher with yours. Apple and mango sounds good. There's still room in the pitcher for quite a bit more juice. I think that looks good already, but is there anything else you want to add? Apple, mango, and pineapple. You pour the third juice. Careful not to spill any.
So?
Are we done? I don't want to go too crazy, so I think that's good. I think that's good. With your juice done, you set out some glasses and poured out some for everyone. Hey everyone, come on, get your juice. It's gonna taste delicious, I hope. The group got up from the lounge chairs they had been sitting on and came to fetch their drinks. Everyone picked up a glass and took a sip. Cove eagerly gulped what he had both created. He was already expecting to like it, and by the look of his face, it didn't disappoint. Cove downed the rest of his glass in the next drink he took. He let out a satisfied sigh. That was good.
Right?
I would hope so. I didn't add too much stuff to it. Yeah, nice work.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad. The little juice experiment was a good time as far as you were concerned. Contently, you all stood close together, some still holding their juice cups. Lee's eyes scanned the group, and she giggled. This is much nicer than having to rely on regular phone calls to catch up, right? Before anyone could respond, Lee's eyes widened. The corner of your mouth pulled into an amused smile. Not that I don't enjoy our chats from afar, it's just more fun to actually be here together.
That's fine.
We understand, and yes, this is a fantastic little party. Happy graduation, Lee, Michiko and Cove. That was followed by more cheers and celebration of your high school careers coming to an end. Lee even lifted her glass to toast it. When it settled, your older sister had one more comment to add. And no one even had to fight over who gets to use the home phone. Lee threw her head back in thunderous laughter. The smile widened on your face. I remember that. All the times Elizabeth here was trying to push me into being less Gabby. She needed me to just stop so she could call her other friends instead. Hey, many teens have a too cool family phase.
You're welcome.
Yeah, luckily it's all A-okay. I forgive Liz for being a teenager. I got a hearty laugh out of Liz. She caught a quiet snicker out of Cove, too. At least Michiko kept me up to date on what was happening since at birth those difficult days. I never knew what wild thing you were gonna fill me in on next. I couldn't wait to fill you in on what was happening. Hey, I had to tell somebody what was happening today with these people. Let's really miss out on those meaningful conversations. No, I couldn't wait. Spilling the tea with my cousin. It truly was something that you look forward to every chance it came up. It definitely is always fun to stay in the neighborhood loop. Then Lee drank the rest of her juice down to every last drop. She made her way to the table over by Cove and set her cup down. And actually, Cove watched Lee as his mouth pulled into a lopsided smile. Making these juice concoctions reminds me of that time. He remembers! Reminds me a lot of that smoothie business down at the mall. That one the one that lets you pick all the fruit that goes into it. That's a good place.
Yeah.
It was the best and exactly what I was channeling when I came up with this idea. I'm glad you caught that finally. Sorry, I can take a while to get things sometimes. You all know that.
Mm-hmm.
Too true. That's an understatement. You're sharp when you want to be. It's okay, Cove. You're good exactly the way you are. You meant it, and you hope that your sincerity came across alright. Slowly, a warm smile spread across his face. Sue, Cove. She leaned towards him with a devilish grin. Do you still have that wind chime Michiko totally got for you? Cove brushed off her tease and gave her a self-satisfied look. Already knowing the answer, you could feel the tips of your ears redden.
Of course.
Of course I do. The moment broke with the sound of Liz's quiet laugh. That was all it took to get Lee giggling, or laughing. And soon after you all were soaking up the mirth of the moment too.
Well,
Though all that aside, we shouldn't leave Baxter out of the loop either. Everyone followed her lead and turned towards the guest for this summer. His expression softened as he shrugged on his shoulder.
I did it.
Well, it's true I wasn't here for these stories. I do enjoy hearing about them. It's nice only to listen sometimes. Cool, really mature. Thank you. His gaze traveled from Lee to Liz and then over to you. He sighed. My cousins aren't nearly as close in age as you are, and as an only child, I'm curious what kind of relationship is like. What that kind of relationship is like. Oh, I'm with you there. Only child solidarity. Lee nodded firmly to Baxter and then shot Cove a serious look. He crossed his arms. Alright. Only child solidarity. A genuine smile lit up Baxter's face. Lee cupped her hands together, pleased at the united front created. Sharing the same wavelength, you and Liz turned your faces to give one another a look, not breaking eye contact. She reached over and put a hand on top of her head.
thanks.
That's wonderful for you three. I'll keep Michiko, thanks. Your siblings stare shattered into laughter. The others joined in as well. The hours The hours were spent chatting away, sharing stories and favorite memories as the boat drifted out to sea. As time slipped by, the sun hanging low in the sky signaling that it was time to set sail back to the harbor. The more boisterous atmosphere from earlier had settled into a blanket of comfortable relaxation. Liz and Lee were absorbed in conversation, lounging around the deck couch. Baxter sat across from them, nodding along, and every now and then you could hear laughter coming from the three of them. They were always smiling. There were always smiles. Taking a deep breath of sea air, you sighed contentedly. Cove stood by your side in the center of the deck. When you were ready, you looked back to the deck and the faces of everyone you spent the afternoon with. You never wanted to forget that view. Then, looking out at the wide open ocean, you committed every bit of the moment to your memory. You quietly thought to yourself, today has certainly been an adventure. Oh, that was cute and saved my throat. Jesus. This one wasn't like an hour long like the other ones. This one was actually quite cute to get reconnected with your family. Again, this game touches like all of my emotions and makes me so sensitive and everything, because I do miss my family just hanging out like that. But literally my family are all spread apart in different parts of the world. Like my dad's side of the family is all in Cali or Texas, and then my mom's side is all in Vietnam. Like literally all of them are over there. So it's very spread apart. And then my main family, my dad, my mom, and my brother are in Florida, and I'm not there. So if you're with family, stick close to them until you want to spread your wings, obviously, and then you can leave and then come back and visit them, you know. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Next episode is the final episode of Our Life Beginnings and Always until step 4. So our last one, we're going to end with happiness. So thank you guys for watching. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.